The St Andrews Links Trophy, now in its 30th year, continues to attract the best of amateur golfers from around the world. Previous winners include Justin Rose, Ollie Fisher, Tom Lewis, and last year Matthew Jordan from Royal Liverpool. His victory helping him to earn a place at last year's Walker Cup. But what are his memories of 12 months ago here at St Andrews?
A lot of memories. I can kind of remember every shot really. I played the old course yesterday in a practice round. I can just remember, I hit it here, I held this putt. It just all comes back really, and I enjoyed the place no matter what had happened last year, so I love coming back.
And with a victory at the Lytham Trophy this year, he's obviously a big fan of links golf.
Yeah, I mean obviously being a member at Hoylake, I'm used to it. I'm used to playing certain shots, bounces, how I chip greens. I get on here and I feel quite comfortable. I can see reads, I can see putts. Obviously I feel very comfortable. I think that's just because of my upbringing really. I'm used to wind and just everything that involves a links course.
Third at last year's tournament was Australian David Micheluzzi, also relishing the conditions here at St Andrews.
This is proper links, like chip and run with 4 irons around the greens. It's key this week, and just keeping the ball in play really, because it's so firm. Like it's going to be running out so much. You don't really need to take driver everywhere and just place the ball around. All the sand belts in Victoria, they're all very firm greens and fast. So usually we do have to land it at the front and try and work our way into the pins and all that. So looking forward to it. It's awesome fun.
Well, it's not often that we see the sprinklers on too much when it's only the first week of June up here in the home of golf. But as play started off on the new course, the traditional opening round, time to take in some of the action. And continuing the international feel, here's Rehan Thomas from India, with a nice eagle putt on the third on the new course on day one. An opening 69 was unfortunately followed by a 75 on the old course, and Rehan missed the cut by 1 shot. England's Thomas Plum was 3 under on the new on day one. A nice par-saving putt here on 15. Playing up to the galleries. Nicely done, Thomas. He would be safely through to the final day's play on the old course. Now, Ewan Walker from Kilmarnock Barassi using his links experience to also shoot a 68 over the new course. And it could have been 1 shot better if this nice approach on the 16th had been converted for birdie. But still a good solid start from Ewan. Now this is David Haig, and he finished day one at 1 under par, helped by a very nice birdie putt dropping here at 14. The conditions warm and dry for the golfers who were out on the course later on. Here's another one, Andrew Wilson from Darlington. He went 1 better than David and Ewan by finishing at 2 under par for his first round. This putt saving par on the 11th. Christo Lamprecht was also holing some putts. A great birdie here at the 7th and a 1 under total for the young South African. But alone at the top of the leaderboard by a single shot after play on the new course was Ollie Huggins from Frilford Heath, who seemed to find it all quite simple.
I hit green, I hit fairways, I hold some clutch 4-foot putts. Everything was pretty standard really, I was just hitting 2 iron off the fairway and then just knocking it onto the green, and then if I hold a putt, I hold a putt.
All the more impressive considering this is Ollie's first time at the St Andrews Links Trophy.
Yeah, I've been there a few times but never played, so I'm looking forward to getting out on the old course and just enjoying myself really.
So for day 2 on the old course, the conditions were pretty similar to day 1. Overcast in the morning with just the slightest hint of a breeze, although the wind growing as the day went on. Down onto the first green, and Mitch Waite from Filton Golf Club in Bristol with a nice opening birdie. That would send him on his way to a 2 under par 70 to finish the day at 2 under, well up the leaderboard. Christo Lamprecht, well, we saw him on day 1 holing some nice putts, but having to improvise here the classic shot into the bank here at the road hole 17th. The South African flag flying in the distance there, perhaps helping the young man on. Only 17 years old, 6'7" tall, and a deft touch with the putter. A fantastic 5 under 67 on the old course for the young man. He was 6 under for the tournament, finishing the day tied third. Up to the 18th, and here we have Jack Cope. He had a good first day, 2 under par, and coming up the last, well, he was level on the old course at this point, overcooking his approach somewhat, but catching the bottom of the slope with a little bit of backspin, and would you believe it, the ball finishing the near side of the hole. Well, as some rather interested spectators watched on, young Jack sank a magnificent birdie putt to finish the old course 1 under par and 3 under par for the tournament. In good shape and well in contention. Now, all the way over from Canada, and with golf clubs and shoes and equipment going missing earlier in the week, was Joey Savoy. A nice par save on 17 for the tall Canadian. The clubs, well, they were eventually found, and well, it looks like they've certainly helped the big man. 5 under he was on the old course, 3 under total for the tournament. Now, Matthias Honkala from Finland. This was his approach on the 18th. He started the day at 3 under par. And at this point, he was level par for his round on the old course, leaving himself that putt on 18 to go under par for the day. But it wasn't to be. A level par 72. But again, sitting at 3 under for the tournament and in good shape. And, well, with 1 round in the old course under his belt, perhaps he might know it a little bit better tomorrow. Ewan Walker was the top placed Scot in the field after 36 holes. A nice approach here on the 18th would lead to a birdie. He was 1 over par on the old course, but 2 under for the tournament. And a nice birdie it was, although he was rather upstaged by his playing partner Daniel Hillier from New Zealand with this. Fantastic hole-out eagle for a 2 on the last, but a look of resignation. It was too little too late, and he was 2 shots outside the cut mark. Back down to 17, and David Haig was going well. 5 under par he was on the old course at this point. That putt to save par in 17, and he would go into the final day's play tied third at 6 under. 1 better was this man, John Murphy, holing out to save his par on 16. The golfer from Kinsale in Ireland shot a wonderful 66 on the old course. He's 7 under for the tournament. A nice approach here at 18, but that putt would stay out. But he's all alone in second place. 1 shot behind this man, Laird Shepherd from Rye Golf Club in East Sussex. That ball trickling into the hole on 16 to save par. He had done all his scoring in the early part of the round. In fact, it was all about holding it together as he came down the home stretch. This his 4th shot at the road hole 17th. But a great effort out the rough. He would sink that putt to just drop 1 shot with a bogey 5 as we headed up to 18. A nice approach here after a long drive. Laird was 4th last year in this tournament. No doubt he would have had high hopes coming into the week. This for birdie on the 18th. And like I say, that would give him a 1-shot lead going into the final 36 holes on Sunday on the old course. Great playing from Laird. Stay tuned on Twitter and Facebook at the Home of Golf. And we'll bring you full highlights from the final day's play on the old course for the 2018 Lynx Trophy.